This is the ultimate Hela guide. If you're not using Hela this season, you're missing out. The first tip on Hela, you want to have a good aim. If you don't have a good aim, that's okay. We can make this work. Alright, be sure to stick around to the end of the video for the very best tips on how to get wombo combos with Hela. Now look, Hela's little sword shits, you always want to spam those swords in their tanks. Don't really go for the DPS heroes because you're going to miss them 9 times out of 10. Like, how are you going to hit a Black Panther with her explosive swords? It'll be way better to farm ult charge and actually secure kills if you actually can get their tanks, okay? Now, my team is doing great. We have the Neymar team up, and we're doing great. Now, look, the thing, I'm going to talk about that Neymar ability, all right? Skip ahead if you don't want to hear about that. But the Neymar ability, it's really good because every time you get a kill, there's going to be unlimited squids. All right, buddy? Now, look, right here, look, there's literally 3 squids on the field right now just from getting kills. Now, my team has captured the point like that. It's easy. Okay, we're done talking about the squids for now. Now, we got to talk about Hela's best ability, and that's her bird ability. Dude, every time you come out of spawn, the only time you should be using this bird, don't use it for any other reason. The only reason you should be using your bird is to escape or get to the fight faster from spawn. Do not use her crow to reposition or anything else unless you're actually safe and sound, okay? Because that's her only escape ability. All right, buddy? So right here, you see how the enemy is getting pushed back? Do you think it'll be a good idea to use a crow onto that bridge? Absolutely not. Not only am I squishy at the front lines, but that is your only escape ability. Now look, the team is good right here, and I'm playing a little far back, and I'm gonna die here. Hela's really good for high ground, but you can't be exposed for too long. Now you see how I'm missing those damn shots and getting carried by my team? Look, Hela is really bad. Do not over position yourself and overextend, okay? If you have the advantage and have high ground, don't get to the ledge where everybody can see her big head, okay, bro? You never ever want to do that, because if you do that, guess what? The enemy's just gonna kill you and farm you, okay? And if you see the enemy team is grouped up, you always want to spam in her sword. It don't matter who you hit, but always go for their tank. Now, you didn't hear me talk about the DPS people. Now, Hela's first dairy fire, bro, you definitely want to use that for the more squishy heroes. Now you want to farm that ultimate charge. I'm going to talk about how to use her ult a little bit later in the video. Now, I know there's a Doctor Stranger, so I'm low-key kind of baiting him and pinging him for my team. Now, the biggest mistake which a bronze Hela would do is to crow up there and get that Doctor Strange. But that's what you not want to do. You want to save that and hold the position. Now look, I made a really big mistake right here, and I could have easily died, but luckily the Doctor Strange was scary as hell. Now when you use Hela's ultimate, you want to target their healers and squishies primarily. This Luna Snow was out in the open, so I killed her. I can see the Hawkeye behind the wall, so I killed him. And I didn't get a lot of value out of my ultimate because the only person I got was our Luna Frost. Now I'm using a high ground here to escape and reposition. This is a really good use of the crow, of using the crow ability when you're safe, okay? Because the fight is on the other side of the map and I'm good back here. Now look, I'm targeting their Luna Snow. You see how my aim isn't the greatest. Now look, it's okay because the enemy team is gonna know you're shooting at them and they're gonna disengage. There's a Hawkeye on your left. You want to target the person who's close enough to you to kill them, but is far enough to where they won't kill you. You see what I mean? Look, and going back to that Neymar ability, we got 3 squids up there, okay? And our Doctor Strange literally died by my hand. Dude, your toes should be curled every time you play Hela, because if they're not, you're playing her wrong. Now, whenever the fight's over, do not go onto the front lines and do your best to farm some ult charge. Like me right here, I'm kind of playing it safe because I see my team is back here. Dude, if you try to go up there trying to be the main character, guess what? There's 11 other people who think they're the main character. All right, buddy? Now, go ahead and stick around for the remainder of the video before I tell you a secret fun fact about Hela. And comment hell if you want to be added to the private community where I share more guides. Now look, right here, we're playing the off angle. Off angles are Hela's best friends. We don't want to be down in the choke just firing spam. We want to get these cheeky, deaky angles. Now, there was a lot of healing and I couldn't do much. I think I'm going to die right here, honestly. But look, we're good. No, we're dead here. Yeah! Ah! You see? I was still trying to get into the fight when spawn was literally right there. Dude, you always want to be aware of your positioning because think of Hela as like a group. You're not that mobile, bro. Like, if you don't have your crow ability, you're screwed. Now, do you think this will be a good use of the crow, bro? Using that to reposition on the high ground? Absolutely, bro. Because the fight is basically over. My team is pushing. So, high ground and off angles are your best friend. I see my Psylocke is here, but we're going to catch that off angle. But sometimes that off angle isn't good. Now, do your best to not spend too much time finding off angles when you could be into the fight. Like right here, I'm making a really big mistake and taking too much time finding an off angle when there's literally a big team fight. And right there, look, you're literally going to miss all of your swords trying to target a DPS. So right here, I'm in their back line. I get their Jeff because he's ulted, but I think he wasted it. And just like that, we won that damn fight. So on defense with Hela, what you can do is find an off angle at their spawn and try to get some damage. Now my team is up there. I don't know what they're doing. If your team is doing stupid stuff, don't mind them. Look, right there, I only got a 5% ult charge. It's not enough, but it's something. And you want to be really careful because if they have other poke heroes like a Hawkeye, a Bucky or something, or another Hela, you want to be careful and know when to back out. Really, the best way to play Hela and to be ultimate with her is knowing when to back out. Now, I kind of made the mistake and used my crow. And look, my team is getting shot at and I don't have an escape ability. Dude, you don't want to use your crow to get into high ground when there's a fight going, okay? That's how you're going to lose fights easily, bro. You don't want this to happen. And just like that, you're going to be losing a first point on freaking Dracula's castle, and then you're going to have 5 minutes left in the game. That's something we don't want, okay? Now, with Hela, to remind you, you always want to be in the back line, really with your healers. Now, if they have a Black Panther, put down your little stun shit, and don't panic and use your crow quickly, because if you use your crow, dude, you're not gonna have an escape ability, especially if they have another, especially if that Black Panther is coming for you. Now, don't mind the damage, okay? Look, you see that? Did you see that Venom right there? Did you see that Venom? That Venom he's gonna be on your healers. You're playing Hela. You wanna be a dick, honestly. Don't be afraid to solo ult these dudes. Don't be afraid to piss them off, okay? Whenever you see a pretty easy kill, don't be afraid to use all of Hela's cooldowns besides her pro. Remember, bro, the one thing I want you to take out of this guide is to save Hela's crow for a life or death situation. This is something that you need to stick around to the end of the video to find out. Hela is a really good jumping character. What I mean by a jumping damn character, like she's really good for like stealing kills, if that makes sense. If you see a Groot is attacking their Venom and he's half shot, you should always use her explosive swords and use her primary fire to not only help out your Groot, but only help take out their Venom, okay? And look, you're gonna see so many eliminations go up. Your ego's not gonna be the best. That's okay. Honestly, you're still a nobody, and you're not gonna be a somebody just saying, hey, I got so many final kills all on my own. No, you're gonna be way better just farming, okay? Now look, with this ultimate ability, I'm being toxic right here, and I'm trying to solo ult their Cloak and Dagger. I did get away with it just so I can hurt their morale. If she's not helping out her team member get a kill, bro, I mean, you might as well just swap off the Hela, especially if you don't have the Hela team up. Like, my group was going for that Cloak and Dagger, so I did my very best. Now, I'm kind of being a little dick right here. I'm not helping out my team with the Venom. When I know they actively need help, I'm really not doing much. But do you see this angle? If you want to learn more on Hela, comment Hela so I can make more guides. And if you want to know more about off angles, I literally have a whole community teaching about off angles and stuff. Comment off angles if you want to learn more.